For the most part, technology has continued improving in a linear fashion for thousands of years. However, ancient cultures have left many relics and structures that seem a little too advanced for their respective eras. Even to this day, some of the greatest ancient creations cannot be explained by scientists. Hi, I'm Mr. Mysterious, and today I'll be telling you about 5 of the most mysterious ancient inventions that are still unexplained. We will be taking a look at astonishing artifacts that mirror the splendor of ancient minds. Be prepared to rethink how you imagine our ancestors, as well as ancient civilizations. Ancient flexible glass. The history of glassmaking can be traced back to roughly 3500 BCE in Mesopotamia. Ever since that time, we know glass as a very fragile substance. However, there's a story connected to ancient Romans that talk about a type of glass that isn't only unbreakable, but has the power to absorb damage. This invention is tied to the Roman Emperor Tiberius Caesar, as well as to an unknown craftsman who brought a drinking bowl made of flexible glass to the emperor. However, Tiberius wasn't impressed with the bowl and tried to break it by throwing it to the ground. However, instead of shattering, the mysterious material dented. The craftsman then repaired the bowl with a small hammer. After the inventor swore that he alone knew the technique of manufacture, Tiberius Caesar had the man beheaded, fearing that such material could undermine the value of gold and silver. Some people believe that this is just an ancient urban legend because the story sounds too outlandish to be true. However, Roman glassmaking was so advanced that some of its achievements couldn't be replicated until the 18th century. Some of the best-known innovations from around that time period include colorless glass, window panes, and glass mosaics. The Antikythera mechanism. More than 100 years ago, an extraordinary mechanism was found by divers at the bottom of the sea near the Greek island of Antikythera. This mechanism was found in a wooden box, and it was composed of at least 30 meshing bronze wheels. The wheels used to run a system that displayed the date, positions of the sun and moon, lunar phases, a 19-year calendar, and a 223-month eclipse prediction dial. In other words, this was an analog computer of great complexity. No other machine of known existence shows a similarity in advanced engineering for at least another 1,000 years. Experts have been trying to decipher inscriptions hidden inside the mechanism. It was discovered that there was a pointer on the front that carried colored balls, fiery red for Mars, gold for the sun. The only thing we know about this device is that the ancient Greeks used complex arrangements of precisely cut wheels to keep track of their surroundings. They came to believe that nature worked according to predefined rules, like a machine, which is an approach that forms the basis of our modern scientific views. Baghdad's batteries. War can destroy more than a nation, an army, or a leader. Culture, tradition, and history also lie in the firing line and often suffer during war times. Iraq is one of the countries with a rich national heritage that was often plagued by wars. The Garden of Eden and the Tower of Babel are said to have been located in this ancient land. However, there is one ancient artifact that goes against everything we think we know about our history. It was in 1938, while working in Kajut Rabu, near Baghdad, that German archaeologist Wilhelm König unearthed a 5-inch-long clay jar containing a copper cylinder that encased an iron rod. The object showed signs of corrosion, and early tests revealed that an acidic agent had been present. For Koenig, this was an ancient battery, more than 70 years after their discovery. Baghdad's batteries, as there are perhaps a dozen of them, are still shrouded in mystery. Some have suggested the batteries may have been used medicinally. Other scientists believe the batteries were used for electroplating, that is, transferring a thin layer of metal onto another metal surface. This idea is perhaps the most interesting, since at its core lies the mother of many inventions: money. Perhaps this invention was used in the making of jewelry, where a layer of gold or silver is often applied to enhance its beauty in a process called gilding. Either way, it seems like we'll never know the truth behind this intriguing innovation. Zhang Heng's seismoscope. Throughout the ancient times, the Chinese were concerned with the destructive force of earthquakes. It doesn't appear that they were aware of tectonic plates, but they believed that earthquakes were disturbances with cosmic yin and yang. However, one inventor had his own ideas about this destructive force of nature. One of the first and one of the most efficient earthquake detection instruments was invented almost 1900 years ago in ancient China. The device was invented by Eastern Han philosopher and court official Zhang Heng. The seismoscope was about 6 feet tall and resembled a large bronze urn with 8 tubes shaped as dragon heads. Surrounding the device were 4 bronze toads positioned in 4 directions. Thanks to its internal pendulum and bronze balls, the device's internal mechanism would swing in the event of an earthquake. This would raise one of the dragon's heads and push the bronze balls out of the dragon's mouth into the mouth of a bronze toad. This, in turn, would create a very loud sound, which served as a warning alarm. Today, we know very little about how Zhang Heng managed to materialize his biggest invention. We only know that the device was very advanced for the time of its creation, as well as that it gives accurate results and warnings almost 2 millennia later. The Iron Pillar of Delhi. In the cubed complex of Delhi stands one of the most curious metal objects in the world, the so-called Iron Pillar of Delhi. This object does not seem to rust, despite being over 1,000 years old. The pillar stands at a height of about 23 feet. The base rests on a grid of iron bars soldered into the upper layer of the dressed stone pavement. It is estimated to weigh more than 6 tons. While several inscriptions are found on the pillar, the oldest one is a 6-line stanza Sanskrit inscription. The name Chandra is mentioned in the 3rd verse, forcing scholars to believe that the pillar was made during the reign of Chandragupta II. One of the most interesting qualities of this pillar is its resistance to corrosion. One of the many theories floating around about the Iron Pillar of Delhi is that there's a correlation between the processing, structure, and properties of the pillar's iron. In other words, this pillar may be a living testimony to the skill of metallurgists of ancient India. Even today, we can't produce the same kind of iron, even though we have multiple ways to protect metal objects from corrosion. What do you think about these mysterious ancient inventions? Do we really know our civilization's history as well as we might think we do?